Hey everyone, it's Whitney. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a houseplant tour, outside edition. Let me explain. I tend to take most of my houseplants outside during the growing season just to maximize growth, maximize health. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, to start off my houseplant tour outside or outdoors edition, this is my Staghorn Fern. Now this is one that I actually have already put into a little cage because it does hang on a piece of plywood. I started making that video a while ago and I have not finished it, so I need to do that for you guys, but I have him sitting over here in the shade, gotten a lot of new growth. I love Staghorn Ferns. I actually want to do a Staghorn Fern wall like a YouTuber that I watched, I believe her name is Jamie Wolfer or Wolf. I'll actually post her channel in the description box below. The next plant is my Kangaroo Paw Fern, and he is doing very well outside, obviously, because of the high humidity. Have him here in the shade. A little bit of damage right there, but he is getting morning light and then afternoon shade, so he's doing really well. He rebounded quite a bit. He wasn't really doing well over the winter, so I'm happy to get a lot more growth. What's cool about these guys are their aerial roots right here, so it actually absorbs humidity. So he is doing much better since I put him outside. Again, one of the reasons why I do it. However, this guy's not doing great. This is actually my Crimson Princess Hoya. I did just post on Instagram how beautiful the newest leaf is. I actually messed up a little bit on this plant. I put it outside when we were getting a lot of rain, and it actually rotted a little bit. I lost a whole plant that was right here in this corner. But we're rebounding a little bit. I've gotten some new growth in this one right here. And again, that beautiful leaf that I just showed you guys, it's right here. So happy about that. We're getting some new growth. I'll probably end up needing to repot it so it stays really wet. So this plant, this is my Hoya pubicalyx splash. Not very big splash, but there's definitely splash there. It is doing really well. It has gotten really full and bushy, and it's starting to go up the trellis that I have here. Pardon the nasty lantern behind there. I have a lot to do out here in this patio. So anywho, this guy's doing really well. Ever since I took him outside, he is just thriving. So, and the color actually has returned. The splash, so to speak, has returned on this plant. So he's looking really good. Next is one of my Sansevieria Laurentii. You guys know that I have quite a few Sansevieria, so I'm not going to focus too much on this, but this is just one. I do want to make a note that the more sun it gets, the better the markings. So take a look at that. This is new growth versus old growth right here. So again, new growth, old growth. So I'm going to do a care video on Sansevierias, and I'll talk more about that at a later date in that video. Next is my new addition to my plant collection, my string of hearts. I was so happy to finally find one. I actually untangled it and it's looking a lot better. But yeah, I'm so excited to watch this thing grow. They are so neat. I've been wanting one for a really long time, and I'm happy to add it to my collection. All right, next up is my Hoya Hindu rope. Yeah, same situation as the Crimson Princess that I was telling you about. We had some damage a little bit because it got way too much water sitting outside, and it did get burnt a little bit, but we are rebounding a little bit, doing a little bit better, getting some new growth, so can't complain about that. You guys, I don't do Hoyas, so these Hoyas are actually my first Hoyas ever, so I'm learning. So yeah, but we're doing okay. Next up is my Whitney Sansevieria. Obviously, I'm going to have a Whitney. I featured this on my Sansevieria collection video. I'll link that up here in a card for you guys, but she's doing really well. Love the color on this one. It's putting out a lot of babies. Very happy about that. I mean, one right here, there's actually one coming up right in the middle here. We've got another one, so it's doing really well. So I'm really excited about that. Next up is my variegated whale fin. This was the one that I was really worried about when it came in from Thailand, but alas, we got to baby. So excited to see the variegation on this one, to see how it changes colors for me. Next is my very first whale fin that I ever got. I got this one from Cambridge Bee, I believe, and it's finally growing for me, but it's putting out some weird babies. I mean, I've got one right there. I have one in the middle coming up, this guy, and then there's one over here coming up. So kind of weird how All the little babies are starting to come up. The growth pattern of it is a little odd, I think, because I had it in such a dark corner for so long, and then I finally decided to put it out, and now it's actually producing some babies for me. So hopefully we'll get some pretty whale fins in there. Next are my two bird's nest Sansevierias. I have two different varieties right here. So these are doing pretty well. I decided to put these outside just because I wanted some new growth on there. Usually they put pups up around the perimeter of the pot. And I haven't had any pups yet for either of these guys, so I knew it needed more light. Next is my Samurai Sansevieria. Again, all my Sansevierias were featured in my Sansevieria collection video, but lo and behold, we are getting new growth there down the center. If you look in the very, very center, you see another spike coming up, so I'm happy about that. Yes, one of my pride and joy. I feature this one on my Instagram quite a bit. I got this one from Walmart originally. Someone actually hid it in ferns for me. You know who you are. Thank you, Tori. But yeah, so this guy has just been rocking and rolling. I think I've had it since maybe April, and I am so happy with it. I'm in love with it. I am so in love with it. Lots of new growth coming in. It's getting really full and really long. Next up is my Ponytail Palm, and I've had her for quite some time. Time for her to get repotted. What I think is so neat about her is I actually lost this whole branch, and she came back and gave me some new leaves with a new little guy down here. Now this guy's growing really slow, but she came back with a new branch, so I'm happy about that. But she's just rocking and rolling. Miss Curly Sue over here with her curly hair, curly locks. But I do love her. She's a very unique plant. I know some people hate ponytail palms, but I love this plant. Okay guys, I own two cacti. That's it. This is one of them. The other one is a very small one. But this has grown so much. You can actually see how much it's grown since I have put it outside. Those are all growth marks right there. And even on this one right here, you can tell. Just, again, more sunlight, you're gonna get more growth. So that's why I actually put plants outside like I do. This is originally where it started when I put it out here in the spring, and now it has just taken off. So it's doing really, really well. Okay, so some of my other Sansevieria, I have them all grouped together right here. This is the Sansevieria, oh dear, Longiflora. Featured this one in my collection, all of them actually in my collection. This is my Sansevieria Fernwood Mikado, doing just fine. This is my Nightowl Sansevieria, again, doing just great. If you guys want to see more about my Sansevierias, again, check out my Sansevieria collection video. I'm not going to go too far into depth with my Sansevierias. I'm just going to show them to you really quick. All right, Green Mermaid Sansevieria. She's doing really well outside, lots of babies getting put out. And my Starfish Sansevieria, I'm going to end up splitting this plant so I can have just this one fan all by itself, because I think it's going to make a huge statement. So, very cool. And my beloved whalefin Sansevieria, putting out a baby right here. Really excited to see how big this guy's gonna get with some sunlight. The one, this was existing, but this one is new, and it grew like crazy. And then the new baby, I'm excited to see how big it gets. So again, whalefin Sansevieria. All right, one of my other Sansevierias, this is Sansevieria zeylancia, I believe, putting out some new growth for me. Notice how green the new growth is and how white the variegation of the markings are, because it's getting more light. Imagine that. So putting out a lot of new growth for me, getting really tall and looking good. All right, this is the Sansevieria, something or another. I'll put it on the screen. I just found out the name of it not too long ago, and she's doing well, putting out some pretty growth. Wide blades, getting a little bit long. So that's cool that all the sunlight has really helped this plant look a lot better, because it was struggling for a little while. All right, this is my Sansevieria Sayuri, putting out some new babies for me here. This is one that I got on Facebook Marketplace, and she's rocking and rolling. And this is my Sansevieria cylindrica. Again, nothing crazy with this one. Still alive, so that's cool. All right, this is my Sansevieria Volkensii or Volkensii. Like I showed you guys in my Instagram story, we've got some new growth coming up here in the center. Love, love, love this plant. So excited to see what it's gonna do for me. And my Moonshine Sansevieria. It's got some dirt on it from just water runoff. I need to repot this. I keep saying that. I said it in my Instagram story the other day. But the coloration on this thing when it gets more light, this is because it's getting more light. And this is the color it gets if it doesn't get enough light. So keep that in mind, guys. If you have plants that the reason you got them is because of the beautiful coloration, such as this one, you need to make sure you give it enough light so that you can see the coloration, because huge difference in this versus this, okay? This is all new growth from being outside. Okay guys, here is another one of my Staghorn Ferns. It has grown actually quite a bit. It suffered a little bit in the winter, but it's doing quite well now, being in a humid environment, lots of rain. So it's doing well. Would like to get this one mounted as well. Again, would love to have a Staghorn Fern wall. So pretty cool. The new growth comes in very minty if you look here. Very, very minty and light. So love Staghorn Ferns. They're super neat. And next on the list is my Crocodile Fern. One of the coolest ferns, I think, because of the leaf pattern. Look at that. It literally looks like scales of a reptile. New growth comes in like that. Kind of neat. I have had some damage from some critters out here, but we're taking care of it. I've been having some slug problems, so I have to come outside almost every day to make sure they're not on the bottom of the pot or eating my leaves. So this guy is actually doing a lot better since he has been outside. He's a little bit newer. I got him probably very early in the spring. But again, look at those leaves. It looks like scale, hence the name Crocodile Fern. All right, here's one of my favorites as well, the Rabbit's Foot Fern. I think it is so cool. Honestly, they should have named it a Tarantula Fern because it looks like a tarantula is coming out of that pot. So that's how it absorbs humidity, absorbs water, is through those roots right there. But he's doing well. Originally didn't want him in a terracotta pot, obviously, but having him outside in the shade, he's doing just fine. So if you guys remember in my KonMari method video where I got rid of the plants that no longer spark joy for me, I was supposed to get rid of this guy. So I put him outside with all intentions of getting rid of him, and then he started out putting new growth out. So I kept him. He's doing okay. He's doing actually really well. I shouldn't say okay. He's doing really well. All this new growth, he's gotten really tall, and the new growth is gorgeous. So we're gonna give it another shot, I think. I mean, how can you not? Look at this. The thing has gotten huge. So, yeah. All right, guys, it's actually looking like it's gonna storm, so that's why it kind of got dark out here. But this is my Monstera Peru, one of the slowest growers, I think, to date. This is all new growth, I think, from the spring. I've got one coming up here. I actually just put her outside not too long ago because I need some growth. I need some growth from her. She's killing me. One of my favorites though, I mean, look at the leaves. They are really textured and they're dark, deep green, and then in some places you'll get a light green. So worth the hassle, but just wish she would grow a little bit faster for me. I'd like to enjoy her. Okay guys, so yes, my Sansevieria Kirkii Coppertone got burnt. I accidentally left her on the table after I did my Sansevieria collection video, and well, you can see what happened. She's ruined. I don't know if she'll come back from this. This is all from sunburn, all of it, even this. Although it does look a little bit like fungus, but that must have just come up. But I mean, look at this. I was so devastated. So she's in the shade right now, hoping to rehab, hoping I'll get some more pups, hoping to get some more pups from her so that I can split her and maybe make some more plants before she croaks. I'm really upset about this. Learn from my mistake, guys. Don't forget to put your plants away after you make a video. Don't leave them out in full sun. Here is one of my Rhipsalis. It is growing so well. Initially, I was worried because it got a little too much water and the center was starting to get a little sparse, but it has grown back, and we are going to have a beautiful trailing plant, I think, by the end of summer. I mean, look at that. I love these plants. That's a leaf down there. Oops. But yeah, we're gonna have a beautiful trailing plant once growing season is over. So I'm very excited about that. And that's what I wanted. I love unique trailing plants. If you look at the new growth, I mean, it's so neat. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it. It looks like little pieces of grass, but then it breaks up into other little starts. So it's kind of neat. The next plant that I want to show you is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and it's starting to get really crazy out here. I better hurry. But yes, my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, I need to actually stake her up. I'm using a trellis or an obelisk that I had in my yard, but this thing just won't stop growing. I'm gonna repot it as well because it's starting to get a little root bound, as you can see. So we need to repot her, but she's doing well. Okay guys, I'm in between kind of thunderstorms here, so I wanted to show you my Scindapsus. I put this one outside so that we could get some more growth, of course, because this is gonna go on one of my walls in my bedroom. I'm gonna do another hanging wall in my bedroom. So I wanted to get some maximum growth here, and it's working. This is sunburn, a little bit I think. And right here, a little bit of damage, but we're doing okay. But you can just see how long she's getting. So here's another one of my philodendrons, and I'm gonna take it off so you can see the color. Now that we've gotten outside, you can see how much more yellow it's gotten versus the lime colors. But we're getting long here. But again, that's what I want with my trailing plants. So again, one of my other philodendrons, and it's doing well. Okay guys, here is my philodendron Cebu Blue. Here's my Cebu Blue philodendron, and as you can see how long it is, it's going all the way up to my Midsummer Night's Dream statue. She's holding them. Nice little saucer on her head, I just did that. But this thing's doing well. Got some holes from some little insects, but I'm not too worried about it. But if you can see, the more light it's getting, the bluer or silverer, I should say, the leaves are getting. So it is getting really, really long, and I actually have it hanging up on one of my little trinkets here so it doesn't hit the ground. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. It's really long. Here is one of my bird's nest ferns. Actually had her inside not too long ago and just brought her out because we were getting some yellowing leaves, lack of water, and then humidity. So hopefully we'll get some new growth, and you can see some new growth coming up in the middle there. That's why they call it a bird's nest fern, because of the crown. Looks like a bird's nest. Last but not least is my massive philodendron, guys. My massive philodendron, my split leaf, I guess is what they call it now. I repotted this last year, I think. I did a root bound video on it. I had to break up the roots because it was root bound. I actually had to cut the bucket off, but I mean, look how big the leaves are. And that's, I'm not a little person, so that's a big leaf. But it really is doing very well since I repotted it. I'm glad I did. So I could get some more soil in there so it could grow. And it's constantly putting out new leaves for me. So it's doing very, very well. All right, guys, that is it for my houseplant tour outdoor edition. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys saw some plants that maybe you would like to add to your collection. All right, guys, have a great day. Take care.